Good evening. Welcome to another edition of Friday Night Live. This is the show before Blackburn away. You are lucky. You have just got myself and
Good afternoon,
Frankie. Good evening, Frankie. How are you?
How you doing, mate?
Yeah, not bad. Yeah, all good, mate. All good. Yeah, good. Living the dream, mate. Living the fucking dream, as they say. So then, what a mad week it's been within Twitter atmosphere.
Never quite with Millwall, is it? Fucking hell.
Mate, it's been fucking murders, isn't it? It's definitely one of those, but yeah, I think it's been an interesting week, what we will get onto. Good evening, everyone. Hope you're well. If you are on board, make sure you are watching us on YouTube. Make sure you like and subscribe, and yeah, we might be doing some votes on there. And if you're on Twitter, hello. Don't know if we're going to be getting your messages today because I'm not 100%, but we will try. If we're not, we will try, and I'll bring up Twitter on the other screen. And obviously Facebook. I think Facebook, you should be all right. You should be coming straight through to us in the studio. If there is anyone on Facebook, please do send us a message so we can check. We're not going to bore you too much with managers. We're touching it. And then we hit on some of this negativity and some of this, mate, some serious issues that some people have. And then we'll look at a bit of any other news, which I don't think there is. And then we'll probably look at Blackburn and go through all of that. Frankie's going to have some stats, hopefully. Might not. But yeah, we're going to be back in about 45 seconds or so after we play this. There we go, wrong one, but hey ho, it is what it is. I thought it was a faster one than that, but hey, it is what it is. So then, Frankie, how has your week been?
Yeah, all right, mate. Looking forward to Christmas. Looking forward to stopping work. Looking forward to Millwall appointing manager, so we can all leave this nonsense behind us and start moving on with our lives a little bit. Yeah, but other than that, all good, mate. Yourself?
No, it's good, mate. I finished work yesterday. No more work till the 2nd of Jan, apart from obviously pod work. And yeah, other than that, not really a lot more we can say, really. Nice and easy, really, I suppose. So yeah, if you do want to come through to us, you can either use YouTube to give a message. Some of you have already come through, so let's get some of those on quickly. Good evening, Daily Millwall. Good evening, Dan Riggs. Good evening, Fish Mittens. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening, Carl, Connor, Chaos Luke. When was the last time we actually beat Blackburn? First half 2 seasons ago. First half 2 seasons ago, we were winning. And then yeah, we won't talk about that much more. But yeah, we'll come on to the stats a bit later on. Thanks for that, Daily Mirror. Jonathan, that will be coming up. The 2 Cup game. Yeah, possibly. Where do we start? Good evening, David.
You start with managers?
We can start with managers. I am going to have a rant about a couple of things what pissed me off lately, but yeah, not necessarily football related. But so then, the managers out there, what we believe to be the shortlist, or we believe what have moved forward. Love it or hate it, some of you guys are probably going to whinge and moan, as seems everybody in the world has over the last couple of days. Schumacher, not Michael. Alex Neil and
Matt Bloomfield.
we'll start with you, then I'll go into mine. I mean, your thoughts on that, and obviously, if you're in the comments, and do Mike Blackledge. I totally agree with you, and I think there's some people out there on social media who have an agenda. Whatever that is, it just seems that there's been a concerted effort for majority of the season to dig Gallen out and others at the club for whatever reason. I've got no idea. But it's just, as the season's gone on, it's got more and more obvious. And yeah, it's just madness. I've got no idea why. I'm not going to be mentioning names or anything else, but it's just absolute carnage, mate. Why they are just actively going after. So yeah, we'll come on to that in a little bit, mate. We'll come on to that in a minute, Mike. But yeah, go on. While you're there, Mike, might as well let us know what you think of those three. So yeah, go on, Frankie.
Yeah, I think I actually think all three are quite good options in their own right, to be honest with you. I think it'd be interesting who we go for, and I think that'll really give you an indication of what the board's actually after, rather than sort of fan speculation of what we think the board's all about, what we think the board wants the next manager. I think you'll learn a lot from who they actually appoint. When you look at Bloomfield, he's doing a fantastic job down in League One. Not particularly experienced, and obviously only really has this season behind him on his CV, but top of the league, and they're absolutely flying. Can't really question it, to be honest with you. Maybe a bit inexperienced, and there's obviously reservations around that. But the reality is, whoever we get, you're going to be able to sort of point at something and say that's an opportunity or that's a weakness.
Do you know what? I'm really tempted to going forward. Yeah, maybe the last go of the show, last show of the year. Right, I think we should maybe do a fact or fiction show and come up with some of these, because this isn't true. Joe Edwards wasn't Aldo. Aldo did not have that much power within the club at all. He might have, pointed the finger towards him, but it was a board and panel vote what basically put Edwards into the position. So it definitely wasn't Aldo. But again, we might as well just hang the poor fella. It weren't him. But yeah, so out of the three, which one would you have? And then I'll tell you what mine are.
I've done a little about Bloomfield. I mean, we don't want to talk about this too much. I mean, for anyone who hasn't seen it, there was a great show last night that the boys did on Omar, Stephen, and Ben. So once you finished here, tune into that. But I think Schumacher, again, I think he's an interesting one. He's got a lot to prove at this level. Probably a nice blend of experience and a little bit younger still. And then you've got Alex Neil, who's maybe on the face of things not a particularly exciting appointment, and probably a bit closer to Harris than the other two, but he's got a fantastic CV behind him. And anyone that thinks he hasn't, I don't know what he was expecting us to get in. I mean, how many managers have we appointed over the years that have been promoted from this league?
We're in the same place where we were with Rowett.
Yeah. No, exactly. I mean, the only thing different is we're a bit more sort of stable in the league, maybe. Obviously, been in the league more years, but other than that, no, it's largely exactly the same. So, yeah, I think if I had to select one right now, I think I'd probably go Schumacher. But if we got Neil, I'll be absolutely fine with that. I'd be concerned with Bloomfield. I think there's a lot of unknown around him, and the other two I'd be a bit more comfortable with. But honestly, I don't think any of them are bad options. What's your thoughts, mate? Who would you
have? Between the three, I think Schumacher would be a worry to me. Daily Mill, from sources I know, he didn't appoint him. I know that it went to a board vote, so he might have put him forward. He might have brought him up, but yeah, he didn't thingy. So yeah, so my thoughts are this. Schumacher, I think there's more risk with him now out of the others.
Interesting.
I don't know what he's done and what Ryan Lowe did, because it seems that sometimes when Ryan Lowe left where he was with him, he didn't necessarily perform that well. So I don't know if the brains behind it is more Ryan Lowe than Schumacher.
Yeah,
Schumacher plays a different formation to what we play, so it's very much the Rob Edwards scenario again, coming in trying to get players to play in a formation that he wants rather than a formation that works. He's not used to the formation what we sort of play or what we can play, 4-4-2 or 4-2-3-1 or whatever it is we play.
You saw Edwards, didn't we, to do that during the season?
Yeah, it's a nightmare. Yeah,
big
100%. So I would rule him out. So I would say thank you. Yep, good manager. I think you probably got a chance at some point, but not with us at the moment. Thank you very much. Move on.
Mm-hmm.
I would look at Bloomfield. My concerns with Bloomfield is that I think we've got some proper senior pros within the club. I think that those pros are, as we always know, that footballers are always, very prima donna. And I know that he's had 300-400 games or whatever he's played for Wickham. He's a one club boy.
Mm-hmm.
Does he have that much respect in the game to be able to demand respect? Does he have that much power that he can inflict that on people who can go, who the fuck are you? Like they did with Edwards.
Yeah.
I don't think he has. I think he's in the middle of a project at Wickham, and I think he'd probably regret leaving. Yeah, he'd like coming to Millwall, of course, but I think he'd regret that project. I think that he's got unfinished business there, and I don't think he's necessarily ready for the Championship yet. In our current position, I think it's too risky.
Yeah, agreed.
I would go Alex Neil. He's coming to clubs in the same situation of where we are.
Mm-hmm.
He took Norwich up to the Premiership.
Mm-hmm.
He took Sunderland up into the Championship. He played youth. He played with a club what was financially in a mess. Their owners, everything else were in a mess at the time. It was carnage, but he performed. Am I going to hold it against him for going to Stoke? No, am I fuck? Because Stoke is a basket case. I mean, they have more managers a season than most other clubs have in a lifetime. So no. So if I was picking, I think right now, right this second, there's no question it's Alex Neil. Purely because of you've had a strong manager be in that dressing room and go. You're going to need someone who can come in and galvanise that team, pretty much play the same sort of positioning to a degree what we were playing, or with the players we've got, not exactly the same positioning, but be able to adjust slightly rather than going a whole new formation.
Mm-hmm.
And he can develop players. I think he's a good man management. The media won't like it, and the fans might not like it because he doesn't really care what he says to the media. He is a no nonsense. Millwall fans are no nonsense to a degree, so I think he'd probably fit in. And I mean, we've had a couple of great Scottish managers here over the time. Forget about what the last ones with Willie, Mark McGee maybe, but I mean, you go back to Doc and George Graham, both done a lot with youth. So I think he is exciting. I think that would be where I would put if I was voting on it, if it was a fan's vote or whatever it was, that's where my vote would be. Or if I was still fan on the board, that would be the person who would get mine. Pure and simply down to he is out of that small bunch. He is the most experienced and the most trusted out of that three. Robbins didn't want us. Gary O'Neill didn't want us. And I think both of them are probably because they're on, they're on pay from their club still. And I think that coming to us could be a pay drop. That's why I think Graham Potter hasn't taken the job, because I think he's still being paid, millions and millions of pounds a year from Chelsea. So it's in his interest not to really go out and get another job for some lower league club being paid pittance. And I think that's probably the same with Gary Neal and Thingy. I heard that Tony Mulberry is looking to get back into football just not necessarily straight into a manager's role like us at the minute. I think it'll be too demanding. I mean, it was only 6 weeks ago or so. I think he had an op. So
I don't think he'd want to come down to London, mate, either. If you look at what he's gone through, tradition managers, northern clubs, I think it would be. I can't see him then suddenly decide to come down to London. On Neil, I was talking to a mate today, that Sunderland fan, and asked them what they thought of him, and it was quite interesting actually, because there are quite a lot of parallels. I was basically saying when he come in, they had a new owner, young French guy, new director of football, quite a lot of change at the club. Obviously, the club had been struggling for a long time, sort of languishing down in League One, and he really come in and was a steady head that was able to sort of guide the new owner, guide the director of football, and give some continuity to what the football club was doing. Obviously, got him promoted, and there are some parallels there to what we're doing. Obviously, you look at not quite the same situation, but would Gallen and Jimmy benefit from having someone at the club that's on board with the project, but also willing to? He's not just there to toe the line and say yes. He's there to give him his opinion and sort of. And I think if
I
they
don't
go,
think they want. Yeah, I mean, I don't think they want a yes man. I think what they want
really
is someone
it.
to go. I get on board with the project. Just one thing. Let me just address for you. Mill, I'm not in any way calling you a liar, fella. I know that it was reported a lot of things, but yeah, Aldo, as much as he liked to think he had power, mate, he didn't have that much power. So yeah, and that was all I was saying. Really, I wasn't saying you're lying or anything else. So yeah. I
agree though.
I don't think Alex Neil is a yes man. I mean, I've seen a load of people. Oh, he's an arse kisser. He's a brown tongue. All that. I don't think he is. No. Fucking hell. Do you know what I mean? I think he's. I mean, Christ. There was one club he was at where he was refusing to tell you the press if players were injured or not. You know, when are they coming back for injury? Never told them. Just played them. So yeah, I don't think he's. I don't think he's a yes man.
I've got a stat here. He's managed 466 professional football games.
What's his average? Because his average across, I think his average, I think it was 40% and then 30%. I think his average is about 33% in it across.
I can find out for you. But you can't manage that many games for that many clubs and not have a bit of a spine and a bit of personality behind you. It just doesn't work in that industry. I think he's one of the names where when I first heard him linked, you know, you're thinking, all right. But the more I think about it and actually start to process it, there's a lot of sense there.
Can we just address this? Anthony Pike. Wagner was never on the fucking table, mate. You know, again, there is so much fucking Mickey Mouse out there. He wasn't on there. Sam Allardyce wasn't at Millwall. You know, there's been so much bullshit flying around. It's unbelievable. I mean, you know, Mourinho would have never taken the job. He's on 12 million a season in the Turkish league. So he's definitely not going to come to us. Yeah, we are Millwall and we think we'll have everything and anything, but you know, some people won't want to do it. You know, it is what it is. I mean, Karis Luke says there, look, you know, but then again, what do I know? I thought Harris would have had a job for life. I think Harris had a job to the end of the season, but it seems as if, you know, for whatever reason, him and Gallen didn't get on, and I think fans starting to turn. And you know, much the same as last time, Harris thought that now was the right opportunity and right time to get out where it doesn't turn toxic. And I think that's probably the right way. So yeah, I mean. Jay says, Neil suits the squad we have now. Bloomfield suits the squad we want. I agree. I think I personally would bring Neil in for Alex Neil in for maybe 2 seasons, maybe 3. By then, I think Bloomfield would have completed the project he wanted to do, and then bring him over. I think the best person who I would have hoped would have been on the interview would have been the old Reading manager. I would have loved to have seen him because he's done so much on a fucking shoestring. Speaking to Reading guys, they fucking loved him. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I would love to see it. Yeah.
I think the biggest issue I've got with all of this process that's happened so far, and this isn't new, and it started with the situation of Harris leaving. Obviously, there's a lot of debate around the booing and people being a bit ungrateful for what he achieved, and we're not going to have that conversation again, for Christ's sake. Fuck me. But
It does. Alex Neil looks like me, 100%.
it does a bit, yeah. But
Hello, Dad.
but I do think whatever name I've seen linked so far, it's been negative, and you think I don't know who we as a fan base, who do we realistically think we're going to get, and who would we realistically be happy with? I mean, there needs to be a degree of reality, right? And when Millwall Football Club ain't got the biggest budget in the league, we're not the biggest club in the league. If we can get a manager in that's proven that he can get teams out of this league, that's a bit of a coup, isn't it? I mean, when we look at managers we've been linked with before, we can't have it all our own way. We can't have exactly what we want, and we need to whoever it is. We need to as a fan base, we need to just commit that we're going to give whoever it is time to do what he needs to do. We need to give Gallon time to do what he wants to do, and Jimmy time to implement what we want to do. And constant negativity and bickering amongst fans.
I mean, look, his football is boring. But most people who've had him say that he was a good. I think what you're looking at with him is I would say probably an upgrade on Gary Rowett, but pretty similar as in there. But I mean, he does play 4-4-2, and I mean, we've got some good youngsters coming through. They've played in good positions, played in correct positions with our team. I think we can get exciting football. I think it's not necessarily an issue there. Norwich kept him and gave him a chance to get us back up. Yeah. Mowbray would have been the best choice. Mowbray would have been brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think it's too much too soon. I think that's our problem is that I think we were probably looking at Harris was going to leave end of the season and then obviously left now. I do think it's very, very interesting that Livermore has stayed.
Yeah. Yeah, agreed.
I do think it's very strange that he stayed. Very strange that he's got the fucking Dan Riggs. Sorry, I just looked at a WhatsApp message what Dan Riggs has just put on the group, mate. Wanker. Yeah, I think no one expected him to leave right now, and then leaving it is pretty much stuck in because no one's around. Those who are half decent, because of all the Prem clubs what have suddenly got rid of people, they're gonna not want to take a job with us with the potential that they might be able to get a Prem. So, the likes of maybe Gary O'Neill, okay, he's just gone out. He's probably on a good load of money for a couple of seasons. He probably wants Christmas off being paid high, and then he'll come in the new year. But again, he could go Prem. You've obviously got
Cooper,
who wouldn't come to us. Lee Creswell, I would have looked at, or Lee Carsley, I would have looked at potentially Lee Carsley, maybe Mowbray, yeah, maybe. But again,
names, though, they all would have wanted Prem teams, and if they didn't get a Prem team, they would have waited for someone like Leeds to sack their manager, and then they would have gone to someone like Leeds, who are pretty much guaranteed to compete and get playoffs. They're not going to come to Millwall. Like it's what you got to think for some of these managers is they're almost job to job, aren't they? And if you fail in your last job, that's how you're judged. So would they want to come here and risk it? Probably not. When you could go somewhere else and almost be guaranteed some degree of success. And I think that's how a lot of these managers think. We're never going to get these managers. That's just the reality of it.
I mean, look, Ben, where is it? Ben de Beaver 32, right? You're coming up with. But Ben de Beaver, I mean, you've got a couple there, and obviously, his football is boring. Neil's super, he's a super coated Neil Rowett, and then you sit there, you've gone. Schmeichel wants to score goals and be attacking. Alex Neil more pragmatic and boring, reminds me of Rowett. Maybe, but there is no way in a million years that we could have risked Schumacher. you know what I mean? He plays different style of football. You look at him, look at his time across Plymouth, and I mean, to be fair, he didn't play a full season at Plymouth, did he? Didn't Stoke come in and get him?
In the Championship season, but I think he might have had the whole of the League One season. I can't remember.
Yeah, he had the whole of League One, but the Championship. So I mean, he's got no real Championship. Like,
no, he hasn't got any Championship.
I mean, I wouldn't class his Championship experience with Stoke. I wouldn't class that as experience, but.
But by the way, Schumacher's not a bad option. If we was to get him in, I'll be perfectly happy with it.
I just don't think he's right now. I think it's too risky. If we're on 13th, and we've lost the last three, haven't we? We lost the last three on the bounce, right? You need someone to come in, stake the tree, and move forward. And I just don't know if Schumacher or Bloomfield could do that, because Edwards couldn't. Edwards got a few runs over Christmas where he got 3 games. He won 3 games over Christmas, but the rest of it out of the 19 were pretty much abysmal because he was trying to change. I just think it's.
I think we need to face the reality of our dressing room as well, because I think I don't want to come across like I'm slagging off. I don't want to come across if I'm slagging off Neil or any of the players, but the reality is some of these players that did a fantastic job for Harris were fucking terrible for Edwards. And I mean, and we all know we talk about. I mean, if you look at Cooper's form before Harris, shocking. You look at Saville before Harris, shocking. Could barely get a game, really.
They fell out with
Honeyman pants. And then Neil come in and got him playing, great. But the reality is, there's a lot of players in the dressing room that are probably Harris boys and probably disappointed to see him leave. Let's just face the facts here. It probably wasn't the most popular decision for the players that are the most experienced players in the dressing room. So the first job of the new manager is to get in that dressing room, give it a shake up, and get the players on board.
100%.
That is a big fucking job.
No,
and
that's it.
If you ask Matt, I think we spoke about this prior, Mick, and you made a great point. If you ask Bloomfield to do that, he ain't gonna be able to. That's a big old challenge. You need someone with a set of bollocks to be able to get in there and take control. And Alex Neil will do that.
You can see Alex Neil walking in there, right? And I'm using him as because he's been here a few years. Say someone like Bradshaw, right? Bradshaw sits there and goes, "Oh, I'm fucking doing this or I'm doing that, whatever." Bloomfield might be like, "Okay, well, I need you to be on team, blah blah blah," not really think. Alex Neil would just be, "See you, fuck off. I'll get someone who wants to do the job," and he'd bring someone else in to do it and go, "Right, there we go, that's it. It's done." So yeah, let's seal this off and we'll move forward with it. To answer your question, Daily Mirror, why is the Mirror leading the scoops? I would probably maybe suggest that someone at a local paper who always seems to break things has a friend at the same agency that represents a certain manager that's just potentially left, and it could be a coincidence maybe. And the fact that Dan Marsh, who works for the Mirror, started working with the guy at the local paper who breaks a lot of the stuff. So yeah, could be just pure coincidence, I would say. But hey ho, the world of media. Schumacher and Neil will both walk into to get other dollar. I do not trust either of them. No, I think there we go. Look,
I don't disagree with that either. What I would say about that, though, mate, is I think let's face the facts here. Rowett tried to do this on several occasions. I mean, I remember when was it Bill left? He wanted to apply for the QPR job. I think that's just the reality. There's probably a lot of shit that we don't know about with managers trying to dodgy stuff like that.
They probably didn't do it. To be fair, he probably didn't do it because it was all media. We've got no idea if he did or he didn't, do we?
Yeah, no, exactly. But
Rob T comes up with a good point. Let's put something to bed. Alex Neil's teams play nothing like Rowett's. Neil's team play high energy and aggressive football. You don't get 3 promotions in 10 years as a manager being defensive. 100%.
True.
Also, Alex Neil don't seem to draw too many games. Schumacher, is more attacking. There is no doubt, maybe. But if he was that good, why isn't he? Why isn't he in another job? I mean, realistically, Gary Rowett's been out of football a while. Why didn't Schumacher get potential for Oxford?
I don't get me wrong. I get the guy's point, and it's a funny one. It's
I get what you're saying, but I'm just saying,
ultimately, right? Football's an entertainment industry. We all turn up every Saturday.
No,
to be entertained, though, don't we?
You can't say that.
It is, don't it? That's the reality of it.
Down the sky route.
No, but that's just we might resist it, but that is the facts of the matter. And if that wasn't the case, we'd all stop going when we were losing games. Do you know what I mean? So the fact that we all turn up still suggests that there is a degree of entertainment in it. But I couldn't give a fuck if it's boring or not. Really,
3 points are all that matters.
Yeah, I don't want it to be boring, but there's times. Let's be fair. We weren't playing high intensity attacking football against Leeds and Burnley, but none of us went home with the ump board that day. So,
no, that's it, isn't it? W8, where we W4 Watts says, "Is nil almost a certainty?" Thought Jones was nailed on until Edwards got it. Got no idea, mate. I'm only going by what people are reporting, and various agents out there.
Yeah,
sitting there saying this and the other. I don't think Jones was ever nailed on. I think he got down to the final two, but I think it was just. I think Edwards probably had a better panel or a better, presentation than him. To be fair, I mean, he's not supposed to be the most charisma fella. So yeah, agreed on par. Don't know what that was for. Our own very own Jay, who is poorly with a chest cold allegedly. I think he's just bless him. All these cold nights and rain on working on the railway, mate. It's not good for your health, but still. Exactly, Frankie. We're Millwall. We can't go into Build-A-Bear and build a manager. We'll take who wants us as a posse, as opposed to who we want, really. If Neil wants a job, he's probably top tier of our list. I think it is. I think he is probably top tier.
Mm-hmm.
Rob T, spot on, mate. Neil players, some good stuff at Preston and Norwich. Yep. Need a whole new backroom team with fresh ideas. Yeah, I think we probably do there to a degree. I think Alex Neil will probably bring in people he knows.
On that comment, though, it'd be interesting to see what you think, Mick, and get in the chat. There was something today from Steve Morrison talking about the need to have someone at the club that has a sort of a link to Millwall fans, and I do agree with him.
What paper was that in? South London?
I can't remember, mate. I'll find it.
Is that Richard Cowley?
Probably.
Fuck me, the agenda goes deep.
But I do think Morrison might have a point now. I do think as a club we work best when there's that link between the pitch and the fans.
So Robbo doesn't matter then.
What's that?
Robbo is
he's 21, isn't he?
Yeah, but he's still there, isn't he? I mean, you could quite happily bring him up.
That I'll be absolutely fine with that, mate. If they want to bring Robbo or even Nugent, someone like that in, fine. But I wouldn't be anti him keeping a Livermore, and I'm going to get pelts for this. I wouldn't be anti him keeping Barrett. I mean, I know people hate him.
Players love him. Players and the board love him. I mean, allegedly he's supposed to be great. I mean, there's as much speculation that even Harris and Gallen didn't get on as much as Harris and Barrett didn't get on. But again, that probably don't fit the agenda as much as Harris and Gallen. But hey ho, it is what it is. But it is very strange that Livermore here, and I'll come on to your comment in a sec, Rob. Steve says need a whole new backroom team with fresh ideas. Sort of agree. I think to be fair, Barrett deserves his own challenge. He deserves a League One, League Two team, and see what he can do with it. Because
if the new manager wants to come in and wants to work with Livermore should stay. And that goes to anyone.
I mean, it's there. Look, didn't I read that Livermore is going to a backroom role? I think I think that was in the Suffolk News, I think, or potential. Yeah, I think it was Suffolk News. That he said, that obviously he's in charge for a game, and going forward, he hopes. Obviously, no promises, but he hopes to to stay within the back room of it and whatnot, whether that be 21s or whether that be academy or something else. It is what it is, but it is really strange
I've got
that
a question for you, Mick, quickly, mate.
Neil obviously had an issue here, and it was obvious over the last 6 months with all the press and everything else. Why that Livermore is his right hand man? Is he staying? And why has he got the how has he got the job? I mean, if he plays a different team tomorrow, different setup, different formation, different players in positions, it's very telling.
Mate, Mick, I've got a question for you on that, mate. So let's
on.
assume that we're all right, and one of the biggest issues between the club was Gallen and Harris, and they weren't seeing eye to eye. And a lot of people would say that sort of Gallen's potentially in the wrong there, because Harris is a legend, like bona fide legend, and we should have backed him more, and as opposed to Gallen.
Why?
Or loyalty, I guess. But if Gallen was as bad as everyone thinks he is, why the fuck is Livermore not walked?
That's my question. That was exactly my point.
I can't make heads and tails of that. If Gallen was that bad,
if me or you, right? This weren't my podcast, right? This was, I don't know, Jay and Omar's, right? And if they treated you really badly and you walked, and I'm your best mate, or I'm your mate, and me and you were doing a show on here ourselves like now, I'd walk with you.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be sitting there going, "No, I'm really sorry, mate, but I'm going to see what I can do for myself." I'd walk with you, and we do something together. Do you know what I mean? You're like, oh, unless it's because you didn't go to Cambridge. I don't know, do you? You don't know if there's a little bit of, we'll bring you back to Millwall because you know what's what. So yeah, I did read that for you there, Rob. So yeah. Alex Neil also applied for the job. He did. That's what I heard. Alex Neil wasn't approached. He approached us for the job. And let's not kid ourselves. Alex Neil wants this job as much as we need a sensible manager like him. Pure and simply because he's been out of the game a little while and he wants to get back into it. You know what I mean? Let's be honest. He's looking at us as a stepping stone for him in a couple of seasons. If he does, listen, think about it this way. You imagine if he got us promoted. Every other club in the Championship would be going, fuck me, if he can get Millwall promoted on a budget, on a fucking shoestring with their players, he'll fucking be able to do it with us with a huge budget or this, that, and the other. Do you know what I mean?
One of the things I like about Neil and Schumacher, to be fair to him, both of them, if we appoint one of them two, both of them really need to come in and achieve something. And if both of them, because if both of them come in and fouled at Millwall, you'd say, we'll take Neil for example. If Alex Neil come in and fouled, you'd be looking at going, fouled at Millwall, fouled at Stoke. I know everyone fouls at Stoke, so it's a bit of a poison chalice, but fouled at Stoke regardless. Took Preston as far as he could. And you're sitting there thinking, so all he really did in the last 7 years was 24 good games at Sunderland, and that would be the narrative. If he comes in and does a really good job at Millwall, you're sitting there going, fucking hell, got Norwich up, did a great job at Preston, got Sunderland up. Stoke's a shower of shit, so fuck knows what's going on there. And then did come in, did a really good job at Millwall. It's similar with Schumacher. They would both need to come in and do well for their own reputation, not just for us, and that's important.
Yeah, I'm just going to carry on because the fucking idiot that normally does our shows with me, with the incredible Bad Barney, has made some comments and he'd like me to read his comments and he's moaning and I'm behind. So let's catch up on the comments. Livermore wins the next 3 games or so, he could be in contention. I don't think he would, mate. I think the decision's going to be within the next week. At least probably within the next few days, I reckon. And also he said that he's not interested in the job. I think Ben Diva is Schumacher's. Yeah. Schumacher had 108 solo games with Plymouth, left with them 16th in the Championship late December. August, September, October, November, December, 5 months in the Championship, leaving them in 16th place. And then they went on to pretty much nearly be in a relegation, didn't they, last season?
Yeah. It stayed up in the final game season.
No, that's it. Whoever gets picked, it needs to be done quick, and we need to get the new manager bounced, lose the next 2 or 3 games, and we're on the fringe of the relegation battle.
100%.
Can you see Morrison coming onto the coaching team as the club have been highlighting him this week? No. Not
I'd
unless
love him
Alex
to.
brings him in.
I'd love him to, but it'd be mental to leave a job to come be assistant.
Schumacher has 1 promotion and 3 years as manager. Neil has 3 promotions in 10 years as manager, 100%. Hello, Chris. That's why manager is important to get something out of the players, 100%. Schumacher got 101 points in League One, then got them to 16th in the Championship before he left for Stoke. The next big thing before Stoke, more of a point to prove, high energy and attacking.
Potentially, mate. Maybe.
I just don't think he's here now. So, yeah. Fuck it. Let's go for Padre, yeah. Morrison's coming in with Harris's backroom staff. I don't think he is, mate. Bloomfield, interesting too soon, yeah. Do you think managers that offered the job would phone Neil Harris and ask what they're getting into? Oh, 100% they would. 100%.
At the same time, though,
Alex Neil's on.
These managers are so arrogant, mate. They'll all sit there and go, "Yeah, Harris might have done that, but I'm better than Harris." That's the way we all think.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Oxford manager was only sacked last week, and Rowett's in. Yeah, but the trouble was, is I think they were probably already looking, and Gary was probably already around. So yeah, and to be fair, that's the best suited for Oxford. I mean, that's an upgrade, a huge upgrade for Oxford. You know, their manager was good, but he just wasn't championship experience, and that's what some of you are talking about bringing in. So yeah, where we feel play. The right team with the right tactics, I then fancy us for a win. Absolutely. Do you know what? I would have loved to have seen. Now was a chance. I would have loved to have seen Neil Warnock. Don't know if you'd have taken it, but I would have loved to have seen Neil Warnock. So yeah,
maybe 20 years ago.
Then why didn't we stick with Bomber then? Bomber left. He wanted to leave. He was only here till the end of the season. Whatever happened, he was only going to be here till the end of the season. And and look at Gallon's statement. They're looking for a manager who will get on board with the strategy and the development side of it. And obviously Neil didn't fancy that, so he's gone. Neil's a legend, highest goal scorer, etc., etc., etc. And unfortunately now he has left the building for pastures new, hopefully. And yeah, that's it. Right back in the den on the 4th of Jan. Looking forward to that. What's that first? It's our friend Bester Beaver. Right, sucked the life out of the club. Great results, but I never get excited watching that. Just don't want to be bored to death. I also want results. I think we will do. I think we will get them. Probably just Burrow trying to put his name in the hat. Neil was a midfielder, so appreciated both defence and attack. Yes. Oh, there we go. Is that why I was fucking racing through the comments for, you fucking mobhead prick? Evening, Corden and Baldy. You're about as funny as a fucking pair of razor wire underpants, fella. Fans hate Barrett. They don't know nothing about him. Yeah, no, he's supposed to be a really good guy. He's the one who does all our set pieces, doesn't he? So yeah. Dean Taylor, we know managers don't walk into a new job if their payout from a previous job is not bigger than their payout from the last club, as Absolutely. They lose money and get out of the job. 100%. And you're not going to get Gary Neal coming from a Premiership club into us. And I think Robbins, so the commentary guy was saying, was on a really good severage payment. Is that severage?
Yeah, severance payment. Yeah, he just been given a new deal, hadn't he? It was a 3-year deal, and he got sacked like 4 months later. So he got paid an absolute wedge from them.
So yeah, Omar is what it is. 6 point. Those of you who live near Manchester, Omar is in Manchester today. Go find him, and no doubt he'll buy you a free pint. We are lower to bottom half team in terms of budget in this division. I don't know, our wage bill, I think, is quite high this year. But yeah, we're waiting to see when that comes out. So yeah,
And it all
scoring goals has always been an issue. Liverpool's got bills to pay. Yeah. I don't know what, I might just ban him in a minute. Yeah, look, I like that. So Omar's put starting a new show, chat with Omar. Why not? I fucking built another one. It's fucking 2 years, and yeah, why not? You can have your own show too, you fucking prick. And then Chris Brown comes in and says, "You mean snooze with Omar?" Yeah. The Omar Friday night Pellet's Revenge tour. Yeah. Rowett is becoming a new Warnock. I agree with that. So yeah, there were some other bits. I want to talk about this negativity. Fucking knobhead prick. You don't get those sort of comments on. You don't even get that put up, do you? On other shows. Sorry, Rob. If it's your first time here, mate, we say it how it is. That's it. You know. Yeah. Omar is a prick. He's you know, his best mate, but he's got a bad haircut and he's a prick. And he's striving to go out on the piss for the weekend in Manchester with Ben rather than you know, doing the hard graft. But don't worry.
Omar, even though you got called a fucking knobhead prick, mate, if you can make sure you like and subscribe before you go, that'd be great.
Yeah, Rob. Yeah, like and subscribe, and we promise we won't call you a bald-headed, you know, knobhead prick either. All right. So yeah, right. Call out with the comments. Right, I want to address this fucking. Sorry, I really want to address this. I might have to go get a beer in a minute to do it. There's an agenda, right? I don't care. There is an agenda of some form or another in play with some people where it's on the verge of obsession of their hatred for certain, you know, for Gallen. And it's just, I don't know what the bloke's done to him.
Can we have it straight off the bat as well? Let's have it right. You might think you hate Gallen. Gallen's coming in and doing exactly the job he's fucking asked to do. If you hate the job Gallen's doing, you actually hate the Berylson family and you actually hate Jimmy. And that might feel controversial, but that is the facts of the situation. Gallen's doing what he was told. So if you want to criticize, let's be accurate and let's say I'm not happy with what Jimmy's done. Gallen's just doing what he was fucking employed to do. If you don't like the strategy, it's not Gallen's strategy.
No, I mean, you know, there was people at the who were giving it to Gallen. You know, like some of the questions were mad. You know, at the fans forum, and I know that a few of you on here were there, so you'll know what I'm saying. Some of the questions there were mad. You know, seemed know too much, sort of too pushed and whatnot, and it's just literally, and then it's just continued. You know, look, let's be honest, right? Neil Harris was here last season. Neil Harris was in charge and performed miracles last season, and thank you so much for that. You've done great, right? Absolutely, forever and a day, great. Straight on, summer. Unfortunately, for whatever reason, and you know, James Berylson and the rest of the board know what's gone on, and you know, we won't, and maybe it's a good idea that we won't, because you know, there could be carnage.
Yeah.
If it's, I mean, if it's something for you to get the sack over or for you to be pushed out, it's got to be something major. What that is, no one knows, right? I don't know. No one knows, right? There's lots of speculation, but no one actually knows what's what, and there's nothing what we're going to sit there and say on here. But they've gone and they moved, you know, they've been moved on and whatnot, right? Harris now, obviously, there's a change of structure of how it worked. Gallen's brought in, and basically Gallen's in charge of player development, youth, combining the youth first team, everything, all making the whole strategy one. Where before the youth was on its own as such, the academy was on its own, no one was really communicating. Now all of a sudden, Gallen's come in and said, right, I want you to fix this. Okay, I want you to look at players with you know, we haven't sacked the recruitment team. The recruitment team's still exactly the same people who were here when Harris was here last season, right? So they're all the same. All Gallen's come in as the new head, right? And he's basically, he's just aligning it all and listening to everyone and all that. I think what the issue is that Neil basically lost the control of what he had before. And I can understand that because I'll be pissed as well to a degree. And I think that's where it's come from. That's where these issues have come on. And then, Neil, whatever reason, is, spoken outwards in the media and stuff. He's been a lot more outspoken than what he was. And we could see that there was, issues to a degree. And that's it. But do we really think that Neil knew nothing about? I mean, come on. I mean, let's be honest. Do we really think that they know nothing about the players coming in? I can't see that. I can't see that any club would not tell a manager who's got to play these to go, oh, by the way, yeah, I'm bringing in 2 players from out of Mongolia. They're great players, and I want you to put them in the team, yeah? It's not going to happen, is it? It's going to be, what's your thoughts on this? And also, because it's the same recruitment team, isn't Neil going to be discussing them and going, is this geezer any good or not?
There's a lot of things that didn't quite add up right. So, I mean,
thank you to Brewdog, by the way, giving out.
Yeah, there's got one here as well. If they want to sponsor the show,
giving out Wingman. Thanks for the retweet earlier, but yeah, if you want to send us some different beer and we'll drink it on the show, or you can sponsor an episode if you want. That's hashtag pay me Brewdog. Save the fans. So yeah, do it. There we go. Sorry.
That's all right. There was a lot of things that didn't quite add up in the summer and at the start of the season. I mean, just picking one example out of, we'd sit there one week and you get an interview from Harris and it'll be, I know nothing what's going on, ain't got a clue what's going on. And then you get another one 24 hours later saying, I have conversations with Gallon every day. Well, if you have a conversation with Gallon every day, you must have some idea of what's going on. Let's be honest. It might be that you're not getting the answers that you want or quickly as you want and as the personnel you want, but you do know what's going on. The thing I struggle with is, like everyone in the chat, like yourself, Mick, I love Harris. Some of the best moments we'll have as Millwall fans, Neil Harris has been a heart of them. But I don't support Harris FC. We're all Millwall fans at the end of the day. Yeah. And if that means that so what we need to do as a fan base is thank Neil for what he did, appreciate what he did, and now continue to back the club like we always have done, with or without him. And I feel for some people, for me, in my opinion, are almost crossing over to that world of, would they rather we failed so they were right about Harris and not right about Gallon, but ultimately at the detriment of the football club. And that might be completely unfounded and really unfair, but that is that. I mean, am I talking shit, or is that how you feel as well?
No, I think the same. I think so. I'm just loading up a video to do because I've got an idea for a giveaway and see if it is. It's why is that not gone over? Oh, it's gone there. That's why. Listen. I think you're right. I think you're absolutely nailed on. I think that. To fulfill an agenda or to fulfill what they're doing, it's as if they want us to fail. That doesn't matter who come in. No one's as good as, no one's as good as the old board members who ain't here no more. No one's as good as, the manager we had. No one's as good as this. No one's as good as that. And it's like, I think it's madness. I think it's absolute madness. And I think that no one in the world, right? Jimmy, Gallon, every player, everyone, right, is in charge of Millwall or within Millwall for a moment in history. That's it, right? And I don't care who you are. You could be Messi, you could be Ronaldo, you could be fucking Mourinho, right? You're only looking after and representing the badge for a small part of history. The badge has been here since 1885, and the badge will be here till forever and a day, regardless if we're in Southern League Division, fucking Sunday League pub team. We'll still be Millwall, and that will be the badge that fans will support, watch, protect, everything else. Doesn't matter who's in it, who owns it, or whatever. They are all custodians, and I think that's the thing is that you know, I don't think as fans we can ever get to a stage where any one person within our club is bigger than our club, is bigger than the badge.
Mhm.
And I think that there are some people out there what seem to think that there are people bigger, you know, that people are bigger than the badge, and they're not.
I feel like to a degree we've lost the ability to have a rational conversation about some individuals.
100%. Yeah, it's a bit like left and right wing at the minute, isn't it? Like,
Yeah, fucking
if
just
you know, yeah. And I don't understand why we're like that, because we've never been like that. It's always been, we can have an argument, we can have an opinion, we might not agree, but we can have an opinion. I mean, on what we're saying now, I mean, look at Chris Brown's point there. You know, everyone had a hard on for Gallen's transfer window. Now they fucking hate him. Makes no sense.
Yeah, but if you want to if we look at Aldridge and Kavanagh, obviously 2 people that have left the club.
Yeah,
Aldridge was obviously from a transfer perspective. Signed
another
Fleming.
one who failed at Stoke.
Well, yeah. Signed Fleming, great signing. Signed Casper Denor, great signing. 2 signings from Europe that we previously would never have done. Branched out into a new market, smashed it. Congratulations.
Who signed who?
Fleming and Casper Denor.
No, he didn't sign Fleming. That was Rowett's man, wasn't it?
But it was under Aldridge,
so
I'll give him credit for that. We'll be kind to him, yeah.
All right, yeah.
This is also Aldridge that left us with one fit striker in Tom Bradshaw as we're chasing playoffs.
Yeah.
And the reality was, when we're sitting there looking at the bench at Blackburn going, who could we bring on? We had Tyler fucking Burry. Because we needed a striker in January, and all we actually did was sell a Phobie and didn't get another one in. So let's not pretend Aldridge was fantastic, and let's not pretend it was the worst thing in the world. There's grey area and there's balance to all this. Kavanagh helped secure the future of the club in South Bermondsey. I mean, I don't actually know.
Sorry, what's it? If you're watching on YouTube, give it a like. Come on, there's only 22 likes. We have plenty of like watchers, and they come in and tell us every now and then, and it's there. And I am going to give away a fantastic prize tonight. So you know, if you're not liking it, then you ain't getting shit. So yeah. Go on. Sorry, mate.
No, Cav, so he played a massive part in the club securing its future in South Bermondsey, which is something we're all massively keen on, and a legacy that will be a lot longer than he will be. He also spent money in ground in West Kingsdown that was nowhere near a train station, nowhere near a bus link, and is now pretty much useless because none of the young kids can actually ever get there. So,
and again,
we have to take these things into perspective of they're not all awful and they're not all perfect. So why can't we have a rational conversation about, you know, he did good, he did some bad, and ultimately the reason why some of these people probably left is because they made some really silly mistakes, and Jimmy wanted to change things. It's his club now. It's not his dad's club anymore. As much as it's all painful and Jimmy's trying to learn his job under the most tragic of circumstances that you would never begrudge anyone having to step into them shoes whilst grieving. He's got to change. He's changing it. Good for him. Let him. Let's back him do it.
That is it exactly. I mean, there has to be a pantomime villain somewhere at the club. There always was and always will be, whether it's a player, a board member, or a manager. This time it's Gallen. It is, and I just think that we've just got to fucking lay it off, maybe. So yeah, we're on 36 likes now. So it's gone up a little bit. So yeah, I mean, my thing is that, say for instance, right, this fucking bullshit witch hunt, whatever way you want to call it, right, is going on and 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 on, right? And Gallen goes, I fucking got too much. Or some of the fans, what seemed to believe a lot of the bullshit was being put out there about him, what is unfounded to a degree, because it's very cleverly done. It's not actually saying he's a cunt. It's playing with things.
Dripping bits again.
Yeah, little bits and all that. What happens if someone fucking chins Gallen in the car park and Gallen goes, fuck it, I'm going? And then what happens if Gallen goes and fucking Jimmy suddenly turns around and says, fucking hell, I've had enough of this, and he fucking decides to get out as well. And all of a sudden we've got a shit Timbot fucking owner who we're banging trouble. Do you know what I mean? I think it's madness. I'm not putting some of the comments up in a sec because I'm going to come back to him in a sec. So Rob Tier, now I've got your comments. I'll come back to him in a sec. We were just talking. But I mean, you know what a fan base is like, and you know that the world is like today, and you can create a storm, and then once it suddenly goes fucking bang, you just go.
All you got to do is light the fuse, isn't you?
There we go. We could do it. No, you know, I'm not blowing smoke up our arse. We have a hell of a lot of people what fucking follow us, watch us, talk to us, and all that, and we could quite happily come in here and go. Do you know what? That head of recruitment, fucking Ted Baker, is an absolute bellend, mate. He's a fucking wronger, mate. I see him down the shop all the time. Fucking see him in the pub, chatting bollocks all the time, talking about things really inappropriate, talking about the players and the way he does, blah, blah, blah. And people start believing us.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? And you're like, mate, why? Do you know what? There you go. Look, there we go. That is... Steve, that is fucking. I'm going to find you a prize, I think, fella, mate. Just for that one comment, mate. I hate to say it, but social media gives the dickheads a voice, and some believe the bollocks they sprout. I'm not saying that there's a lot out there what have valid arguments and valid points and back up their points, right? And you can have a good, in-depth discussion with people, right?
That'll be funny if you look at this podcast. We don't all agree.
No, we don't. But we don't back away from it. And we Omar's a cunt. We all know that. Do you know what I mean? So
I'll never say that. Yeah, but yeah.
No, see, you disagree with me, but we're okay. We can carry on.
Oh, what's that?
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, he's a gobby cunt you put in a private chat. Oh, yeah. No, that's fair enough. But no, you get what I'm saying. I just think from August till now, there has been agenda from some, and it's not let up. You know, fans forum. There was people at the fans forum, but we're fucking gunning for Gallon, and there's been various bits and pieces throughout the time. And I just think it's go to the model shop and buy an Airfix. What's the thing? Aircraft carrier, right? Because it's fucking massive. Go buy yourself an Airfix aircraft carrier and build the cunt. Okay? Stay the fuck off social media for a day or two and just build yourself an aircraft carrier and let people do what they're here to do. And if they fail in a year's time, then they fail. Lots of people have failed doing things at this club. Let's not go through them. Lomas, Holloway, etc. If I ask now for 5 people to take all these people on the group now and say, right, give me 5 players who failed over the years at us, right, who've been the next big thing and done fuck all, the chat would go boom. Everyone will sit there and give 3 names off the top of their hat and go bop.
I mean,
we've seen this.
This might
let them fail on their own merit.
This might be a controversial opinion, but I genuinely believe if you take the fan base now, how we are currently, and think if today we appointed Lomas and then followed up with Holloway, people would want John to have sacked the club, or to have sold the club.
Yeah,
people would have handed that family out and gone, fuck these lot, ain't got a clue, 2 poor appointments, blah blah blah, because there were poor appointments. But that's not how the world works. Like,
no, that's it. No, that's it. No, I totally agree with you. I mean, let's just go back to some of these things where we were talking. Let's just put some of these up. So, Rob T, I'm going to call you New Boy Rob because I think you are fairly new for us today because you didn't realise that we swore as much as we did, or we just take people's points on and everything else. So I'm going to call you New Boy. Jimmy's idea for us to be self-sustainable, can't blame him. His family have put over 100 million, well over 100 million into it. And look at it this way, right? Look, you know, those of you who might not understand, right? His dad put over 100 million pounds, or Chestnut Hill Ventures, his dad, whatever it is, put over 100 million pounds in this club. And people go, yeah, but it's this and that, you know, someone comes to buy it. Who's going to buy a club that has nothing? Right? Let's look at this, right? We don't own the ground. We've got it on a long lease. So it's not our ground. We don't own it, right? We don't own a training ground because Claremont Road isn't ours, right?
Yeah.
we've got another training ground which is pretty much a lump of mud, nothing on it. But again, in the middle of nowhere, what isn't necessarily going to be financially worth land because it was a brownfield or greenfield field or whatever it is.
You wouldn't be able to get building permits to do anything on it, would you?
Yeah. And if you're lucky, you might be able to sell it now and maybe wipe your mouth, but that's pretty much it. You've got Brands Hatch on one side and a London club on the other. Unless Brands Hatch is going to suddenly extend their track, or unless London Club's going to put another golf course in, they're probably the only options who are going to buy it. You're not going to get planning permission to build 300 houses there or anything else. So, it is pretty much self-sufficient. So with the regen around the ground finally sorted, what I started with others, 10 years ago, it's taken it to actually get sorted and signed off, which is on the verge now. You're like they've got to look at an angle of being able to at least recoup some of their money, which I don't blame them with.
Absolutely.
But if he wants to sit there and go, do you know what, looking at it, yeah, I think my dad never really saw what an opportunity the Premiership was. And I'm putting words in people's mouths here. Yeah, I don't know what's what. But you had Mark come out the other week who said, 2030 is our idea that we want to look to get to the Prem. And then you've got Jimmy who's come in who seems, I mean, I don't know. I've not, I think I've met him once or twice. I think I met him twice, actually. And you've got Jimmy who's come in, who's basically, he's young, he's a businessman, he works within finance. They don't fuck about in finance. They see what's what and go, right, yeah, they suss a wanker out pretty quickly. And all of a sudden he's gone, how can we do this? Right, we've got assets. We need to make sure these assets are playing. Okay. If they're playing, they're in a shop window. Okay, I agree with that. If we're not playing the youngsters, how are we going to create a pathway? Get that too. So we've got good youngsters. Get them playing in the first team. Put them in the shop window. Means we can sell them for more. Means that we can then use those guys that we've sold for more or potentially sold for more to the other young guys to say, look, stay with us. Don't go to a club where you're going to be on the fringes and you're never going to get a first team. You could get the first team with us. You're going here, you're going there, you're going there. There we go. And we're going to sell players along the way for 10, 15, 20 million pound. We'll reinvest and we go forward.
Next man up from the youth, keep doing it.
That's it. That's it. And all of a sudden you're going forward. Who in their right mind is going to sit there and go, yeah, that's a shit idea? No one is. No one's going to do it.
The thing is with Jimmy, he might want to recoup some of his money. He might do, but it's just as likely that he sat there and gone, no, do you know what? I'm not fucking having this. Why? Our family's put in 100 million. I'm not going to put in 100 million doing the exact same fucking shit. That's really, let's be frank, got us nowhere. We'd hit our ceiling doing what we were doing, buying players like Mason Bennett and getting the scraps that no one else wanted. We need to try something different. If that's what he's doing, I'm all in for it.
Fleming. We did with Fleming.
Exactly.
Fleming. And I think Fleming weren't the player that we were. He had the ump. We're getting 7 million out of him for Fleming. Fucking woohoo. Fantastic. We spent, 4.5, 5 million on the transfer window in January. So we've not only, we basically saved a few quid and moved forward. So, yeah, hey up, Rob T, again, I hold my hands up. I've been giving Gellin plenty of shit because I was angry at Harris going, I shouldn't have done that. It's okay, mate. This isn't confession hour. That's Sunday Night Live when we do that, when we do the space show. You're more than welcome to come on there. So, look, Stephen Lloyd says, 100% agree. Gallon is trying to change our vision in line with what Jimmy wants. Some people hate change, but moan when we lose our young talent for fuck all. How many people over the last 2 years have been moaning about? Is it Eze, who at Palace, who was here, who was allegedly a up and coming youth player when Harris was here last, and yet everyone moaned like hell that we fucking let him go for nothing. And you're like, so we're not doing it now. We're trying to do it. We fought tooth and nail for Josh Stevenson. Would we have done that last year or 2 years ago? Don't know. But it was because of what happened 2 years ago that we never renewed his contract in time. And also looking at it, you go to him back then and say, oh, by the way, we want to get you into the first team. That ain't going to work, is it? You're not getting anyone in the first team from the youth to set up. So
Exactly that, mate. 1000%. And you look at what Gallon had to say about. They spoke to Stevenson, they spoke to his representatives, and they basically said, well, we don't believe there's a route to the first team, and hopefully SA is proving the fact that there is a route to the first team.
Yeah. No,
You've
that's it.
got to bite the bullet somewhere.
No, that's it. That's it. All right, we got through those. So yeah. Let me just come back. There we go. So yeah.
Where it's hard, we don't want to come out and come across like we're trying to attack fans in for that either.
Yeah, and that includes you, Ben Abiva. We're not attacking you in any way. Listen, your opinions count, and we put your opinions up on screen. Do we agree with them? No, not all of them. But you still have the right. Listen, if you watch this show and you're not doing anything libelous and you're not just being a dickhead with it all, we will put your comments up. No, we will. And even he's had some strong opinions what are differential to us and others, and we've still put his points up. So
he's backed him up, isn't he? He's backed him up.
He has backed him up. Yeah.
But
I wondered how long it would be before someone mentioned Peter Anderson.
But what we have got to do is, as a fan base, just maybe chill out a little bit and think to ourselves, right? Let's fucking. The past is the past. Let's park that. Let's back the board, back the new guy, back the players. Starting Saturday, and what really concerns me is I don't think we're in that position, and I almost fear that whoever we get in new manager, if it doesn't start off fantastic, it's going to turn sour quickly. And the reality is, in my opinion, whoever we get in, they're probably not going to get the points total that Harris is averaging this season. Because they haven't had a pre-season, it's not their squad. They won't have had much of a luxury of a January window, so it's probably going to be a second half of struggle. Next year we can judge them.
Next year, I agree. Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, Rob says, forgot about the West Kingstown thing. Do you think that's part of the reason Kavanagh went? Got no idea, but you're the one there, Robert says it was a fuck up and half. I mean, it was. I mean, you're moving out of South East London, so all the talent was available in South East London, and there's loads of it. All of a sudden, it's gone. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, who owns the lease? I thought we did own the ground, but not the surrounding area. No, we own the lease. We own the lease to Millwall, but the freehold and the footprint, everything else owned by Lewisham. Hence, when I was fighting to stop Lewisham taking and obviously wanting to agree to lease, I think there was a small lease left on the community club of about 13 years at the time, and other parts of the building was very low lease. But now I think it's 200, 250 or longer year lease on it. So yeah, it was John's vision from the beginning to be self-sufficient. Yep. 100%. Can we extend the lease on Claremont Road, or is that a dead end? I would say.
Imagine we could.
I would say on that, wait and see, because obviously we were doing the regen and everything else. We made friends with a lot of people within travel agencies, estate agents, commercial property agents, and I think it's Oxford University. It's Oxford University Pension Fund what own that. And there's a few bits and pieces floating around with there, which I know diddly shit concrete. And once I do, I will happily come out once I've got some solid and I can get it backed up. But I would probably say watch there whether or not. I think we've just extended the lease a bit, but we've just spent a hell of a lot of money on the ground.
Yeah.
We've put a whole new drainage system and all that in there, which makes you wonder what's the long term there. But I would say fucking thingy. Lovelace, 100%. Lovelace 100%. Left us because there was no forward going. So yeah, outside thought is Jimmy as invested as his dad was? 100%. I would say 100%. He's spent more money. Yeah, I would say he's spent more money. And I think listening to agents who I've spoken to and other people, both of us know who work within the club, they reckon that Jimmy is a lot more hands-on than what his dad was. He's over a lot more. And it seems as if he is hugely invested in the club, but wants to know about everything and anything what's going on. He's not just taking people's word for how the club's running. He's actually digging in, looking at it, looking at the figures, the accounts, and etc. So I would say no. I think he is as invested in it as his dad was. You know, who's to say that, you know, 5 years' time or whatever, we don't suddenly get brought out by a Qatari or someone else. If we're fucking sitting there floating near the Prem, or even if we got up that way, we're a club close to London. I mean, City Airport's round the corner, mate. Fucking hell, private flights in, it's job done, innit? So, yeah. Our number one asset is our location. The area produces the most
100%.
players in any of the whole world. Need to take advantage of that. 100%. So why the fuck would you move your training facilities next to Brands Hatch?
Where none of these young kids can get to.
I live out that way, right? Sorry, I'm a Ken cunt. I live out that way, right? You can't get a bus. There's no train station near Brands Hatch. And if I lived in Peckham and my boy was playing for Millwall, there is no fucking chance in a million years that I would be getting from the time he finished his school in southeast London. So I don't know, St Michael's or fucking Woolwich School or whatever, to pick him up there at 3:15, to realistically get him over to West Kingsdown for, you know, 5 o'clock or something, mate. It ain't going to happen. Some days you'll do it.
Yeah.
But most days you wouldn't. But going to Claremont or going to Blackheath Rugby Club, it's a lot easier. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah. How comes the club doesn't put the forum, the fans forum on YouTube like every other club? Good point. And it's an argument I am fighting on behalf of you. That I think that it should be streamed. And I am perfectly happy to stream it, and not just stream it to me. I'm perfectly happy to sit there and fucking put a camera up and stream it across the network, what we use, and open up that network to all the other fan media, you know, Dan's, Nick's, No One Likes Us, whoever, Millwall Tubes, etc., so that it went live across everybody's channel. I've got no issue. The club should be able to do that, and I've got no issue giving the club access, you know, logging into something like this and letting the club control it and just post it so that we get live footage. But I think we do, because it would be good to have a discussion, you know, and I think that the fans should need it. I don't understand. There was I recorded it once only, and I did it on Periscope when I was fan on the board. So 2014, 2015. I done it once then, and I recorded it and played it out, and it was weird because we were getting questions in, and I was asking questions from Periscope to Neil and to Cav and whatnot on there. So it does work. It can be done. I don't understand why it doesn't. I understand that sometimes they don't necessarily want media or whatever, or that used to be the pretense before, because they used to control the media narrative, which I think is a lot different to a degree now, or is changing. But no, I'm fighting for that. And that is, I have had discussions. Great question, and yeah, I have had discussions, and it is something that I have venomously defended fucking, nearly 10 years, that why it isn't. So yeah, Rob T is Bobby T. No, he's not. West Kingsdown was a backup in case regeneration went tits up. Boom. Mr. Lacey, you are 100% correct. That's what I would say it was, because one side of the land is one side of the A2, I think it is, or the M2, whatever it is a big plot. The other side is about 60 acres as well. And potentially you've got enough space to potentially put a club if you wanted to.
It's still a shit idea, though.
Oh, 100%. And it wouldn't, the fans wouldn't have had it. I wouldn't have fucking had it. I would have fucking turned. So, yeah. Change of plans. Claremont Road to be youth training, and West Kingsdown first team. That would work. I could see that working, to be fair. Better for the first team out there. But I don't think they've got the money for that in a minute either.
The problem with that, mate, is I think the big thing behind West Kingsdown is they wanted to get the youth teams and the first team all under the same roof, because that's quite a big thing to get a Category 1 academy status. So if you then still don't have that to a degree, what is the fucking point? Because the amount of money you get if you're Cat 1 is insane.
James, no, I don't think James was. James hasn't been on the board since then. I think James come on probably within the last 4 or 5 years, if I'm honest. I don't think he's been on since his dad brought it. So yeah, never been to Claremont Road. I hear it's a bit of a shithole. That's Chris. That's disrespectful. It's not a shithole. It's our shithole. You know what I mean? So yeah, agree. The board's vision needs to align with the management to get behind the project. To become a selling club, we must back the new guy. You see the power of that Millwall podcast. We have converted, and
but he still thinks the new guy should be Schumacher, so not 100%.
Yeah, if he comes back in a minute ago, as long as the new guy is, yeah. Elsford is close to train station. Trains to Elephant, Denmark Hill, Peckham, Nunhead.
It's not close though, mate. It might be the closest. It's not close.
Yeah, it's not close, mate. Fucking hell.
You're not
also
walking
try and get there. Try and get there when Brands Hatch is on. That fucking road becomes thingy. But Brands Hatch do it. Brands Hatch get 200,000 people there on a super bike with no transport, with driving. So yeah, no public transport apart from coaches. So yeah, I would imagine Jim is 100% committed to try and fulfil his father's dream of seeing Millwall play top flight football. 100%. I mean, I'm going to make a thingy now, and I reckon I've got more chance of probably seeing Madonna naked, but I'll say it. Steve Gallen, Mark Fairbrother, James Berylson. If you watch this, or one of the players who we know watch this, if you can get a message to them, I'd love the opportunity to do an interview with you, all of you, either together, individually, and I'd like to get some questions from our fans and ask you them outright, because I think there seems to be an agenda across socials, and I think there's certain bits that would be good to answer.
Just to clarify a couple of points, yeah.
That's it. There's no. I'm not looking to stitch anyone up. I'm not looking to create an agenda. I don't think it will happen. Because I think the media and whatnot, the media department within the club don't necessarily like the fan media size of it. But if it's ever an offer, excuse me 1 second, if it is ever an offer, or it is available, then yeah, I would. I'll be happy to come wherever you want, whenever you want. And yeah, I mean, I'll even within reason, but you can fucking have full editorial control as long as I can get the interview. You can see the finished article before it goes out, or hopefully you'll say that we wouldn't need to. But there you go. Can't say fairer than that. Can't see it happening either. But can't say fairer than that, though. Can you?
Just a quick one on the. I just looked
and Brewdog, if you want to sponsor us too, thanks.
To walk from Ainsford Station to it was on Fulkham Road, the training ground, the plot on it.
Yeah.
It'll take you 2 hours. So I've got to say that them kids would be fucking fit as a fiddle, mate. Walking 2 hours and training, but you're not doing that.
Yeah, Mark Fairbrother said about the training grounds in Millwall TV interview. Yeah, he did. Yeah, Alex Neil dealt, and also some of the stuff what I've got from sources he's backing up. So yeah. Alex Neil dealt with a young team in Sunderland with a similar project of developing youngsters, so I can understand the choice, and it's definitely stable. American Rover, I think JB is playing the long game for the next 50 years. I think you're probably right. I think Millwall is one of the secretive clubs in terms of media, so do I. I'm happy to do it in Wall Talk Studio if you want it. So yeah, no way, 2 hours. 40 minutes.
Just Googled it, mate.
So, honestly, mate, there ain't no station nearby. You're probably, to be fair, you're probably better going to Dartford, to be fair, mate, and getting a cab straight up through Sutton Horn, isn't it? Probably, to be fair, it's probably just as quicker that way.
either which way, it ain't fucking happening.
Do you know
These
what?
kids would all sit there and go, do you know what? Let's be real here, taking out our bias. Would you rather sign for Millwall in Falcon Road, you've got 4 hours of travelling each day, or will you just sign for Charlton?
Should we call it, Frankie, over the Christmas period? Because we live fairly close. Should we meet up? I'll pick you up and we'll basically go to the station and then we'll time ourselves in the car from the station or we'll look at walking it. So
We can stop at a pub on the way, yeah.
I've walked from Ennsfield to Brands Hatch. Yeah, lagging drunk probably off to watch. So were you watching the super bikes or the mini stocks? What or the touring bikes? So yeah, let us know what's what. Right, we've been going an hour and 25 minutes. Really sorry that if anyone but we've been discussing with ourselves all week how we could approach this. Oh yeah, the touring cars, they were fucking superb. How we discuss this, because we've been feeling that there's been so much negativity, so much untold abuse being directed, but indirectly, but directed by, fucking bombardment of different shit. All I'd say to you is, look, if you see stuff on social, just ask them, well, what's the agenda? Why don't you like him? Do you know what I mean? Has he got naked pictures of you saying? Yeah. What are you getting? Do you know what I mean? Why is this? What's your interest? Because I don't know Gallen. I think Gallen got recommended by Kenny Jackett. And I think, and I think others, maybe Gary Rowett as well, that, this is the man you want. He's been taken on. Timmy obviously trusts him and he's done all right on the transfer window. Seems to be doing all right. He got SA signed up. Do you know what I mean? He got Tanganga over the line. He's basically got Josh Stevenson going to tribunal. So, we're potentially going to get all right out of that. He seems to be doing us as a club okay.
Mm-hmm.
But if you listen to certain paths on social media and other places and whatnot, it seems as if the bloke's a cunt. And I'm like, fucking hell. How can you judge as a cunt? We don't really know him yet. Do you know what I mean?
And Gallen, if you are watching, mate, you want to get an interview in, we don't think you're a cunt, mate.
No, mate, I don't think you're a cunt at all. Do you know what I mean? I think it is what it is. So, yeah. Steve Lloyd, listen, I totally agree with you. All the secrets stem from Kavanagh and previous to protect from the press. Mate, I could tell you some horror stories, mate, of people losing privileges because they've printed something what wasn't allowed or wasn't frowned upon. It was frowned upon, that it wasn't very light. But I think a lot of that is changing. And yeah, I think the world of football is like that, but unfortunately we are Millwall and we are little old Millwall. I'm not saying that you can put stuff out there and absolutely cause damage to the club through that. I just think that sometimes you don't need to create a fear. Work with the teams around you. Why is it that we have Southwark News at Den, same company, same people, and South London, but South London seems to get all the stories over the others when you've got two local. One's an independent. You know what I mean? Southwark News is an independent. It's not owned by the Mirror Group. It's an independent. So why the fuck are these people battling? Give the media. Why is it that they don't like fan media? Why is it that we've got more chance again of seeing Madonna naked than getting a player interview? Why is it that we can't, for love nor money, because we're not registered with a media organisation, that we can't get press conferences, post-match press conferences? What I would love to be able to put out to you guys. I understand there's embargoes on it. So, I'd be more than happy to get the press release from last Saturday and play it out on this show on a Friday night. I don't breach any embargoes. The story pretty much gets printed in the local papers over the next couple of days, word for word. So I'm not breaking anyone's trust. So yeah, it's what it is. I am trying, trust me, to get more access. And yeah, I'm like a pit bull, mate. I normally get what I want. So ask Lewisham Council. We're Millwall fans. We're all cunts. We are. 100%. Yep. Look at Fat Dan with the Harris bollocks a few years back. Oh. Are you talking about when he put his mum on the episode? Is that what you're on about? I don't know. I'm thinking so. Yeah. If they aren't open with the fans as to what's going on, we just make up our own mind up on it, and it actually ends up being a load of bollocks. It does, and that's why you get people who are pushing an agenda of one form or another. That's why it can sit there and fester, because I understand the club's never going to come out and go, that's a lie, that's a lie, that's a lie. And
there's a lot of libel stuff that
regardless,
can't say. Yeah.
No, that's it. And regardless of what's come out, whatever Harris has said, the club's never going to come out and go, actually, let's not use people's names. Let's say, the ex-manager of ours, Billy Bailey, came out and said that, he's been moaning all season about Terry Todd, who's the director of football, and, in our made-up football club, and he's moaning. The club would never come out and go, actually, I have to put you right now, Billy. None of that what you're spouting is actually true, because they're not going to do it, because it looks bitchiness on a professional level, so they won't do it. So you just got to fucking use a bit of common sense. And go,
we probably don't want our football club to operate on that way, right? We don't want them. There's some things that we need to know. There's some things that we can assume and stuff, but we don't want them coming out and saying,
so according to that, we've got four consecutive 1-0 wins coming up now. So 4 consecutive 1-0 wins, followed by 3 1-1s, draws, followed by 3 1 losses. Anyway, I am going to show you a quick little video, and I'm going to give you the opportunity to win this. I'm going to give one of these away, and anyone else who wants one, I will give you an email address in a little bit and tell you the price. And I don't have many, and they're first come, first served. And if you get an email over today and get payment sorted today, tomorrow, by the time they contact you, you might well just end up getting it in time for Christmas for that special Millwall fan in your life. So, have a look at this, see what you think. So all of that on there, there's, is it going to keep playing? No, let's just loop that 1 minute. Is it going to loop? No, it isn't. So we play it again. So basically all on there is a pack. So on there's a plaque which says John Berylson Way, Millwall. You've obviously got a thermal mug, a wallet, a tin, a key ring, and loads of bits and pieces. And I'm going to give one of you one of those away. I'm going to do a question at the end, and I will give you an email address to send your answer to, and I will pick a winner on Sunday night's show. I'll put all the replies into a spinny wheel, and we'll do it live on the show on Sunday night, and I will pick a winner. So if you are watching back and it's gone Sunday, unfortunately, you missed out. So that's our disclaimer. It is finitoed. If you're watching this after Sunday at 6 p.m, you can't enter the competition. So I do afraid you're tough. So do you want to tell us about Blackburn? Because we're an hour and a half in, mate. I think we've had a rant and we put it to world. I think it's your turn now to talk about Blackburn, who we've got tomorrow. And off we go.
It's not making for positive reading, boys. They're doing quite well in the league. Blackburn. They are currently 5th in the Championship on fantastic form, and they're a bit of a bogey side for Millwall, as we all know. We've all got some nightmares against Blackburn from back in the day. We've not beat them in our last 8 games. Drew 3, lost 5, and obviously this fixture last year we lost 2-1. If you actually remember that game, Joe Bryan, they got injured taking a free kick and then counter-attacked and scored. So that's how unlucky we are against Blackburn. I mean, fuck me, make that up. They've lost 1 of their last 17 league games against Millwall. won 10, drew 6. So again, not particularly positive reading. We've lost each of our last 3 league games 1-0. We haven't lost more matches in succession without scoring a goal since 2013. So history would suggest that we're at least due a goal tomorrow. So far in the season, the Championship, Blackburn have had 15 different goal scorers, which is the most in the Championship. So obviously, Sammy Smodics was there last year, did a fantastic job for them. I think he got 30 odd goals in the end. They haven't replaced him, but across their squad, a lot of players have scored goals. But I mean, the last one's a bit of a null and void one. But across the Championship so far, Millwall have averaged 39.4% possession, which is the lowest tally in the Championship. So if you was to look at them, it's not particularly positive. That being said, all these records are made to be broken, right? And you've got to win eventually, ain't you? So, yeah, I mean, we'll see how we get on, but I think it's up to Livermore to create a little bit of change tomorrow and go out there and do something a little bit different, put his mark on the side. And ultimately, these players need to turn up, not just for him, but these players need to put in a performance, because the new guy will be watching tomorrow. Might not be at the ground, but you can guarantee they'll be keeping half an eye on the score and keeping half an eye on who's playing well. So looking for a performance from a couple of players. Hopefully a couple of injuries will be back. Suspensions shouldn't be a problem. But yeah, looking at the stats alone, boys, it's not particularly positive reading. Luckily, the stats all mean fuck all. So let's see how we get on.
No, that's it. That's it. I mean, if you're in the comments, get in the comments. Let's have your... I fancy a win tomorrow. Look, some of you are getting in. Get in there. Get your predictions. That's the word I'm fucking looking at. Get your predictions in there. So yeah, Dan Riggs. So we getting slapped tomorrow. Cheers, Frankie.
No, we'll probably lose 1-0.
No, that's it. They're doing a Eustace Masterclass 1-0 wins. I fancy a win tomorrow 2-0. No idea who here pick or how they're playing. I'm going to give you my team, and I never give teams, and I'm going to give you my team tomorrow. So we'll see in a minute. Can't say I hate Blackburn and the Dirty Dyers. Can I say I hate Blackburn and the Dirty Dyers? I think you just have.
Of course, can.
So yeah. So it ain't looking positive. Fish Mittens, give us your dealer's number, mate. Don't do it on here, whatever you do, okay? Just get in touch with each other and do it that way. 3-1 defeat, 2-1 loss. Rob T, the new boy, 1-1. Johnny Millwall, 2-1. Steve Lloyd, 1-0 SA. Peter Sullivan, 1-1. We are down to 14th at the minute. Derby winning. Lions Raw 1-0. Diaz at Southampton. 1-0 Marku. Yeah. Millwall 1, Blackburn 1. So there's a few of you there. So yep, you're down. They've got a couple of injuries at what do you call it? At Blackburn, head to head. Christ, we ain't won a lot there, have we? 74 goals scored between us two, and we've had 52 against. I think we'll win tomorrow. Okay. Yeah, I think we'll win. Last time we played was Tuesday, the 5th of March this year, and it was 1-1.
The Blackburn are also on form. They're the best side in the league in the last 5 games.
We played them 4 times in the FA Cup, 46 times in the EFL, twice in the English League. And we played 23 times at our ground over the time. So yeah, I think we're going to win. I'm going to go win. I'm going to go. I'm going to go Millwall 2-0 win, and I'm going to tell you why I'm going for a 2-0 win. Okay. The reason I'm going for a 2-0 win, because this is going to be my team. Okay. So here we go.
Joe, I was hoping for a graphic there, mate, and you let me down big time there.
What?
I was waiting for a fancy graphic of your 11 to come up on the screen.
Oh no. Right, here we go. Fucking hell, I've already had someone get in contact and say they want one of those kits. So yeah, they're £40 each, by the way, and that includes postage. Okay, so you can't say fairer than that. Right, here we go. I want Langstaff on the left, Femi on the right. Yeah, or a Marku, yeah, and then Femi come on afterwards. I want SA in the 10 just to prove a point and go, who's there? I'd have the Serb in front of him, or even go a Marku Marku and Femi on the wings and put two strikers, whatever. I would have Whittle and Mitchell in the middle, and pretty much the only difference at the back I'd have Harding there.
Really?
And that's it.
Who would you take out then? Hutchinson or Wallace? Whatever one of them plays, but next to Tanganga, yeah.
Yeah, I'll probably take Hutch out, to be fair. Because I think Wallace ain't had a bad couple of games, has he?
No.
But that's what I'll do. What would you do? I know fuck all.
For a score to start, I'm gonna be positive here. I'm gonna go 3-1 Millwall. I think you go through these scores and you got to win eventually, right, against these sides. You can't lose every time. I mean, fuck me. So I'm gonna go 3-1 Millwall, and I'm gonna go Jensen in goal, Lenny, Tanganga, Wallace. Brian's gonna stay in. Let's be honest. I would probably go Mitchell and Denor. I think Sav needs a rest big time.
Yeah.
I would go SA on the right, Aziz on the left, and I would play with Langstaff in the 10, but more of a I'm going to do utter woke nonsense, fancy bollocks here. I'd have more of a false 9, so he's playing in the 10, but he's getting forward and sort of supporting Ivanovic as the striker. Yeah. So 4-2-3-1, but more of a 4-4-2, to be honest.
Okay. Anyone else want their teams? Put them in the chat now. Where are we? Honeyman in the 10, feeding Bradshaw. We got the voice. Shut up, Dan. Dan's been on dark fruits all night. I think Johnny Millwall is correct. As long as Livermore puts out the team that he was arguing with Harris, should have been playing before he clearly departed to 10. I think if that is true. So yeah, again, look, Rob.
Yeah, I agree with
that. Wes Harding has been truly, harshly treated. Never let us down. Been a solid player. Seems to all be there. Reckon Coburn could go back in January, made of glass. I don't know if he will. I've got a feeling that I don't think they're calling back. I think they either want to get rid of him or they want to, push.
I think we'll sign him.
So I think we might sign him too. I think we're probably more likely to sign him under Alex Neil. But yeah, what about John Terry as a new manager?
No, thank you.
No chance. No chance. Someone I was speaking to the other day said that John Terry finds it hard to get a job after everything what happened. And you just think that coming here would just absolutely highlight that. Even though he weren't found guilty,
he wouldn't get any time.
Highlighted.
Wouldn't get any time. When it starts going wrong, people just batter him.
Yeah. Players need to impress with a new manager watching potentially 100%.
Yeah.
Jensen, Lendog, Tango, Wallace, Danny, Casper, Billy, Marku, Langstaff, and Serb. Yep. SA in a number 10 is a number 10. Yep. It says 4-4-2. Omar says 4-2-3-1. Jensen, Leonard, Tango, Murray, Danny Mac, Denor, Mitchell, Z, SA, Amaku, and Langstaff. Yep, that's good. Coburn being injured might make his price go down for the January window, possibly.
Exactly that, mate.
My side promotes Amaku kicking on with Mac behind him. Rather have Terry from Terry and June. Denor and Honeyman centre mids. Good work, to be fair. Probably
I
better
didn't
than
mind
centre.
Tony when he was centre mid last year under
I think
Edwards.
he's probably better in centre mid than a fucking number 10. Would love
That
to
was the
see
only
us
thing
saying
that didn't
10.
work.
Let's not forget what you get more space wide. We all play football, and the game is so much simpler wide on the wings. Yep. Have we got money to spend in January? I reckon we probably will have. To be fair, if with new manager coming in, I can't see the board going. You're not getting anything. I can see we probably getting 1 or 2 maybe, and a couple of loans. You never know. Alex Neil might have a good black book of being able to pull out of loans. And could we possibly look at getting Ballard back? I don't know, but I think he's playing a while there now. If it was a little while back, maybe. But yeah,
If the right players were able for the right price, I imagine the money's there.
Might get some loonies from Chelsea, Rob T.
If we got Lampard, if we got Terry in, I don't think.
Yeah,
think we
maybe.
would, no.
We didn't get many with fucking Edwards here, did we?
No.
Marco thingy saying that's why. Saying that's I just said that. I didn't see a comment until there. So yeah. Where's your ideal appointment? Who is your ideal appointment from Schumacher, Alex Neil, and Bradley, or do you think it will be someone? Dan, go back to the beginning of the show, and you're watching. Unless you're watching at the beginning of the show and you're making comments, and then you'll get to this part of the show and realise that actually we're questioning about what you're doing. Not, a bit late, but yeah, go from there. So yeah, should have pushed harder for Ballard and Cresswell when we had the chance. Sort of agree. Jensen, Mac, Leonard, Tango, Brian. Wow. Denor, Whittle, S.A., Langstaff, Marku, and Ivanovic. Yep. Okay. Coburn would be okay, but he's made of glass, so I wouldn't spend more than $1 million. Yeah, sort of. What's this? Missed much of the show, but of the 3, I'm growing to nil. That's it. So yeah. Big Serb just needs a run of games. I'll tell you what, while we're finishing and I'm just loading up a better video to show you this of the gift pack and then do you a question. Put in the comments if it's between, which I don't think it'll be Schumacher, but let's go to if between Alex Neil or Bloomfield. Just put Neil or Bloomfield in. I just want to see where everyone is. So there's a lot of you in. So yeah, just let us know who you feel you want. So Neil or Bloomfield, off you go. Obviously, at the beginning, it was probably somewhere else. So yeah, too many mistakes with Brian. Last few games that cost us. Omar says the Big Serb has a lot to learn from me. Time on his side, though. I thought that said that the Big Serb has a lot to learn from me, and I'm thinking, fucking hell, what are you, the striker? Fucking, you are. He is that Millwall podcast version of Fat Dan telling us how good a keeper he is. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, could have played semi-pro. You know what I mean? Great show, lads. As always. I don't know why I nearly said great shag. Then as always, I'm thinking, fucking hell. Secrets there, isn't it? So let's go through this. So at the beginning, there was quite a varied response. There was quite a lot of anti-Alex Neil. Okay. Now we're going to go back through. Now that people have watched us, they've listened to us, and hopefully they've made their opinions. So Rob T, Alex Neil, Steve Lloyd, Neil, Chris Mittens TV, Neil, Daily Millwall, Neil, 2-1 Luton.
Are they playing Derby right now?
Where the fuck has that come from? Derby were fucking losing a minute ago. Or Derby were winning a minute ago.
2 goals in 3 minutes, 89th and 92nd. Fucking hell. That's all right. Back up to 13th now, aren't we?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. American Rover, Neil, Scott, Bloomers, neither, Neil. That wasn't really the question, was it? know what I mean? The question was Alex Neil or Bloomfield, not neither. Come on, play the game. Neil, but don't trust him. I'm not asking you to marry him, fella. Do you know what I mean? I'm not asking you to let him move in with you. Don't you mean Schumacher? No. Blooms, Schumacher's not on the voting panel. Neil, Schumacher, Bloomfield, if not Schumacher. Fucking hell, really? Neil, Bloomfield, was and probably still Bloomfield, transition world from Colchester to Wickham, which doesn't get credited. Neil's CV gets ignored, though. Listen, I'm with Omar, as I said to you.
Yeah.
If it was later on and Bloomfield had been at Wickham a little bit more and finished his project, then yeah, go with Alex Neil for 2 seasons or so, and then go for Bloomfield. Let Bloomfield move on.
I'd rather get someone like Bloomfield in the summer when you've got time to let them get their players in, work on the training ground.
Yeah. I mean, there we go. Look, Scott, I actually prefer a steady manager until we're safe. 100% agree with that. I'd have some sort of impact. I'd have some sort of impact on a Serb if I had him under my shoulder. Don't think any of which would impact him on the field performance. He wouldn't fit under your shoulder, mate. He's taller than you fucking short bastard. So, yeah, and he's not really short either. He's about 6'1" in the Omer. So, yeah. Neil, if it was me, I would pick Mark Robins. Mark Robins doesn't want to come. So you can pick him, but Mark Robins does not want to come. He's turned it down. So, you know, I'd want Mourinho, but he won't come. Darren Moore. I don't know if I'd want Darren Moore. It'd be good. I think it'd be good on a PR basis and all that, but I just don't think it would be good. I don't think he'd. You saw how nasty it got where it was, didn't it? And I think it is. I don't think you'd want that here. Neil, promotion to the Premier, Norwich promotion to the Championship. Good. Yeah. Alex Neil. I think Bloomfield is another Gareth Ainsworth. You see, that was my issue there with conversations with Omar. Is I think it was Omar. How much of the team is his, and how much is Gareth's? So
he's changed the style a lot in his defence. He's transformed that side.
Neil's 6-4 with Sky Bet now. Alex Neil looks handy to me. I like having a manager who looks like he'd clean your fucking clock. Did he mean cock then? I don't know, but nothing wrong with that. No. If we're a Formula One team, Schumacher, but we're not, so Neil will do. Dan, you haven't got a clue, and the Serb might nestle in Omar's hair and make a nest. Yeah, you're pretty much. You're spot on there. Bloomfield is not another Ainsworth. Okay. Right, let's do this. I'm going to show you a video of the bits that you can win, and then I will write the question in the description. So you'll have to go back into the description of this show, what's out on YouTube in a minute. I'll put it up with the question. The question will be in there. Answer in the comments. I think that'll be the easiest way. Answer in the comments, and you will win one of these. I think I'll run it till Sunday. You have till 6 p.m. on Sunday, the 22nd of December 2024 to reply. And any answers after that will not be included. You will not be entered into the competition, and you may well be laughed at for not listening. So yeah, this is the video. It's a little bit longer. It's about 30 seconds, so you can see it. Price is £40. I'll give you an email address if you're interested in one to email, but it is a first come, first served. I think there's about 10 or 15 left. They've been selling very, very well. And that includes postage. All you need to do is email with, I want one of them in the, you just put Christmas bundle in the top in the subject bar, email info@thatmillwallpodcast.co.uk. And basically they will get done out to you. So yeah, you'll have someone email you, you do all the payment, all on protecting, and then yeah, it's all sent out. So £40 including postage for one of these. So That's what you want there. I don't know if you can still hear me on there or not, but yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, keyring, wallet, tin, bottle opener, or 2, a thermal coffee mug with our logo on it, and John Berylson Way wooden plaque. It will make anyone's day, your little shed, your man cave, etc., etc., etc. So yeah, question will be going up shortly. Omar, yes, go on in. Just don't put it on the chat. Send me it on WhatsApp, fella. And I'll put it in the description in a sec once we finish. And remember, put your answer in the chat. So yeah, that is us pretty much done. Got anything else you want to say, Frankie? I quite enjoyed day. Just remember, it's a lot fucking nicer to be nice than it is to be nasty. And stop pushing an agenda. It's not nice. Let's give him his due, see where we go. And if it don't work, then it don't work. But I don't need someone to make the judgment for me. So remember, if you do see it on social, question it. Ask him why. What's he done? Has he got naked pictures of you or something? Do you know what I mean? So yeah. Anything you want to say, Frankie?
No, nothing for me, mate. I think we've covered it all off.
We've gone on.
We have managers. Let's get behind them. See how we get on. I'm sure the people at the powers that be will make the right decision. But no, good show, mate. Everyone that's commented and got involved, thank you for commenting. The show's so much better when we have these comments and a bit back and forth with the chat. So really appreciate it.
Do you know what? Thank you very much for listening. Do apologise if we have gone on a bit of a rant tonight, but it's our club. It's a club we love. It's a club we trust, and it's a club we want to see prosper. And there's just been so much fucking negativity recently that it's depressing. And we don't want to do shows talking about it because it fucking then puts out depressing. I'd rather sit here taking the piss out of that Frankie looks like James Corden or Omar looks like a terrorist than talking about whether or not, Neil Harris hates Gallen, which, if I'm honest with you, as long as we're performing on the pitch, I couldn't really give a flying fuck. So thanks very much for watching. Please make sure you subscribe, like, comment, get involved. And if you're listening back on the podcast, please like on your podcast provider. If you're listening to on Spotify, next to that skip 30 seconds, there's a little plus button there. Press there, follow us. And as always, it's been a pleasure. I need to find the video because I've been completely wrong. So, yeah. I'm going to play that one. Laters.
Oh, giddy up and get away. Oh, we're going Millwall, and we're going today. Here we go.